Hey gang, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? I bet everybody's stuffed. It's Saturday, it's 2 days later. You guys should have digested everything and be running around like knuckleheads. Um, it's Saturday the 27th, I think, of November, 2 days after Thanksgiving. And I thought I would do a video of my Kevin Gilbert collection. So this is kind of like, well, I was going to say progressive rock, but I don't know. Kevin's kind of hard to pigeonhole, you know? I know that he was a big fan of earlier Genesis, for sure. But he's just a brilliant, he's a brilliant musician, songwriter, composer, fantastic vocalist, great bass player, a multi-instrumentalist. And I have a pretty thorough collection of almost everything that he's done. You know what? I just realized there's one thing I didn't pull out to showcase. But I got it now. So, this is going to be a quick one, I think. I hope. And again, it's kind of in a chronological order. This is actually the artwork to the album cover to the first thing that Kevin ever published and released. I believe it's the first thing he ever published and released. I think he was still in high school when he did this. NRG, No Reasons Given. And I had done some research, probably this is going back like 12, 14 years. And I learned about NRG just by, just going online and doing some research, and found out what the track listing was. But then I found a whole bunch of extra tracks. So what I did was because I didn't have access to these tracks, I didn't get a genuine release of the album or anything. So what I did was I ended up downloading all these tracks, and I burned them to disk. Sort of, tried to figure out what order they would go in, and this is what I compiled of No Reasons Given of NRG. All right, I don't know if you can read that. I hope that you can. If you want to freeze that. It says NRG, and I just put Kevin Gilbert's name up there so that it was clear that that's what this is. A Kevin Gilbert item. But there's some really, this is stuff that he did back in '84. And I guess I compiled this in 2012. Ooh, excuse me. So, but 1984, and this guy was working with, he did lead vocals, acoustic grand piano, Prophet 5 he got his hands on a Prophet 5, a Gleeman pentaphonic, I don't even know what that is, a Roland vocoder, Hammond organ. He did backing vocals, played 6 and 12 string guitars, recorders, the little things that go, it's kind of like it sounds kind of like a flute or a tin whistle or something like that, but it's plastic. Vocal loop organs, SCI drum tracks, pots and pans, production effects. So this guy, I guess the one thing he didn't actually play is the drums. And then Jason Hubbard he added some guitar and some keyboards, backing vocals. So Jason Hubbard worked pretty closely with Kevin on this. Ooh. Mickey Sorey is the one who played the drums. He played kit drums, Simmons, SDS5, timpani, percussion, and he threw a laugh in there. Bob Carroll did lead vocals and backing vocals. Kevin Coyle played sax. Greg Gilbert played bassoon. I don't know if there's any relation there or not. Jacques Harper played bass on some tracks. Kelly and Kenny Mangini did some backing vocals, and Ray Otsuka added violin. There is I have no idea what tracks, who played what on what tracks, but that's your cast. Here, I'll go ahead and show that to you as well if you want to freeze it. And there, see? God, it's so shaky. But it ended up being a 2-disc set. The first disc is almost 80 minutes, and the second disc is almost 80 minutes too. So there you go. There's a lot of material on here. All I could say is it's really, really good stuff with an 80s kind of a sound to it, since that's when it was recorded. But man, it's pretty advanced and pretty progressive for a kid in high school. There's no question about it. This guy is, or was, just an absolutely brilliant songwriter and great arranger. I guess he probably got help arranging this stuff with this people that he worked with, but it's just really amazing stuff. No reasons given. I'd love to get my hands on a copy of this album if I could find a decent copy of it. But anyway, that's NRG. All right. And the next thing is this package. Now, Giraffe is a band that Kevin's put together, and they put 2 albums out on CD. And I had these represses on, they came in little card sleeves. Okay, these came out maybe 2012. These were released on 2012. They were originally recorded back in 1987, the very first album, The Power of Suggestion, and 89, The View from Here. The View from Here. That's cute. All right, The Power of Suggestion and The View from Here. So 87, 89. All right. Really good set of material. Good, nice 2 CD set. I already had these, and then this box set came out. About 2 years ago, maybe, this was released. Give or take. And it came with, what they did was they put a box set together with the same 2 albums, the same, basically exactly the same thing. Same, the same catalog numbers, KMG 101 and 101 and 102. Yeah, identical basically, okay? I didn't even bother to rip these open. It also came with a DVD. And haven't even opened this yet. Another image yet. I didn't even open this to see what's in here. I know I'm a pretty busy guy, so I just don't get around to it, you know. Um, Although I have seen lots and lots of other material, but this is all Giraffe stuff. So I could show you some of the stuff that I have seen already. I'll show you that. This booklet comes with this box set. Very nice. I read through this already, and there's some good stuff in here. There's you know, interviews with some other people who contributed to this book, who were involved in the recordings. And it's nice to hear that people had a lot of respect for Kevin, and I can't imagine how you wouldn't. This guy is just brilliant and amazing. The music on these 2 CDs is fantastic stuff. All right, and this is just early on, so it's pretty incredible. This box set came with this little sticker, which I won't stick anywhere because I am being a collector. I just don't do that. So this came out in 2020. This came out last year. This box, excuse me. Excuse me. Woo. Man, I am so tired. Anyway, so all I could say is that both of these albums are really, really good. Really good stuff. And this box set's well worth getting if you could still get it. I don't know if it's still available. But it's nice. Even though I didn't check out the DVD yet. I'm sure it's pretty damn awesome. All right. Here is a compilation of the first 2 Giraffe CDs, first 2 Giraffe albums. It doesn't include everything because that's the running time would be too long to be able to include everything that's on the these albums. But 16 studio tracks, and then This Warm Night, a live version of This Warm Night, ends the album. All right. There you go. If you want to read it, if you want to freeze it and you want to read it, there it is. This came out back in 1999, back in 2000, and I picked this up probably around that time, around when it came out, or maybe a few years later. Of course, I got this before I picked up the 2 original albums, or the re-releases that are, in that box. So, and here's something else. Giraffe performed back in Prague Fest. I guess this was this June 11th, 1994, or was this November 6th, 1994? I don't know. I'm guessing it's November 6th, 1994, but I could be wrong. Giraffe performed The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway at the Prague Fest in 1994. All right. And so they did the bulk of The Lamb Lies Down, and then they did Watcher of the Skies and the musical box. They closed with the musical box. So this was all available online. So I downloaded it. And made this really horrible low resolution cover for it, because I always wanted to, I'm always worried about presentation with my collection, even though I'm the only one generally who's going to be messing with it. But anyway, this is from Progfest '94, and it is part of my collection. So after that stint with Giraffe, I guess they either broke up or Kevin broke it up. I'm not sure what happened. He ended up moving on and started another band called Toy Matinee, or another collective. All right, this happens to be a re-release with it's what they call the special edition, and there are some additional tracks on here. There's 5 additional tracks on here. And what they are I guess they're like outtakes of 5 of the tracks that were on here, like Last Plane Out. This is a really great album. That's all I could say, is it's just fantastic. Again, really good music. This was compiled after Kevin had passed back in '96. I picked this up off of eBay or something. But anyway, this is the special edition. Nice little booklet in there. All right, there's your disc. And there's the lady. There's the lady with the mustache. All right, so I haven't listened to this in a good chunk of time, man. It's gone by since I've cranked this up, man. I think I might have to play this tonight. All right, so that's Toy Matinee. Here is the DTS surround sound package, which was nice when I had my surround sound set up. This was great. Sounded good. So only 9 tracks though on this. This is not expanded or anything. So, all right. And then Kevin put out an album called Thud. Kevin Gilbert, under his own name, wrote these songs and released Thud. The record is called Thud. The songs are When You Give Your Love to Me, Goodness Gracious, Joytown, Waiting, T for One, Shadow Self, The Tears of Audrey, Shrug, Because of Me and You, All Fall Down, and Song for a Dead Friend. It's a great album, Thud. I mean, this is a really good collection of songs. Really good songwriting. This was released back in 1994. About a year after the Tuesday Night Music Club. What was that, 92? That might have been 92, so this would be 2 years later. And Kevin was involved in the Tuesday Night Music Club that launched Sheryl Crow's career. And I think there are different groups of people who are Kevin Gilbert fans or the Sheryl Crow fans, and some of the ones who are Sheryl Crow fans don't give a shit about Kevin Gilbert, and then there's probably some people who are Kevin Gilbert fans who have a real dislike for Sheryl Crow because she just took off on her own. I believe that there might have been some sort of a relationship between Kevin and Sheryl, and I think that maybe Sheryl broke his heart. And I'm guessing. I don't know for sure because I wasn't there, but I think that's the gist of what was going on. But I think that the bigger crux of the biscuit that that people have a distaste, who are Kevin Gilbert fans, they don't like Cheryl, is because when you look at her career, you don't see anything or hear anything about Kevin Gilbert and what he may have done to help launch her career, along with some of the other guys in the club, in the Tuesday Night Music Club. Some really good people in that club that helped Cheryl get going. All right, so, but anyway, I happen to be a fan of both, so it's kind of weird for me. But then I wasn't in the middle of what was going on between them. Anyway, Thud is another great record by Kevin with 10 songs. And here we go. There was a when Thud was released on PRA Records, it there was a bonus 4-track CD that came out with it as a promotional device, and it contains Caviar, the the Zeppelin tune, his Kevin's own arrangement. It also contains Goodness Gracious, the Thud version, then Waiting, the other version, and Joytown, which was recorded live and acoustic for Westwood One. So there's one album track, and then there's 3 other tracks on here that are not on this album. I don't know why put the album track on here. What's the point of that? Goodness gracious. Yeah, the Thud version. So anyway, this is kind of a pairing, apparently. And I just happen to have 2 copies of this thing. So there's that. And then several years later, Kevin, or I shouldn't say Kevin, but the estate compiled and released this beautiful package. This beautiful package in this book. All right. It's a 3-disc set. And there are lyrics in this booklet, in this book, I should say. There are lyrics in here, some really great pictures, and of course, then there are notes about all the tracks that are in here. CD 1, I believe, is the original album, and then 2 and 3, I mean, it's a 3-disc set. 2 and 3 contain outtakes and alternate versions of these songs, and it is, if you're a fan of Kevin Gilbert, this is just something that you're really going to want to get your hands on. I've cranked these up a few times, and you know, since this thing came out, which was probably around, when was it? 2014, 2015. Maybe it was 2016. When did this come out? God, Kevin grew up in Scotch Plains, New Jersey, just east of where I grew up in Hillsborough. Scotch Plains was just down 22. So he was right down the street. A lot younger than me. And I would have loved to have worked with this guy. Unbelievable. So there's thank yous in here. And Sheryl Crow is in here. Giraffes for being such cool animals. So. Man, no date. I guess it was around 2015. What I did was, this book holds all 3 CDs. And what I did was, I got this 3 CD disc holder and I stuck them in here and made this little booklet. Here's a copy of the booklet. All right, so there's the album. That's the original album, basically. And here's discs 2 and 3. Right. So there's demos, there's full mix, unedited versions. The Cashmere, there's the studio version of Cashmere and Miss Broadway. Cashmere's on that little disc in the cardboard holder I was showing you. But anyway, that's what this is. This is the stuff in that book, the 3 discs that are in that book. All right. Here's something that I put together under Thud, but it's just Kevin Gilbert Rarities. I crossed out I used the same artwork and I crossed out Thud and I wrote Rarities because I'm sick. And this has some really good songs on here. Actually, there's a song that he did, that he recorded called The World Just Gets Smaller, and it's on the Nuts and Bolts compilation. I'll show you that in a minute. But this Rarities package has a couple of cover versions as well. Siberian Cut True that he did with somebody else. He worked with another guy. What a great version of Siberian Cut True. It breaks into a Bill Bruford solo tune and then goes back into Siberian Cut True, and it is absolutely brilliant and beautiful and just a wonderful recording. And then there's another version of Back in New York City, not from their live performance, but a studio version that Kevin did. And there are a whole bunch of other tracks on here. This, I pretty much filled this up. There's about 78 minutes worth of music on here. And so I basically just filled it up, and I think they put this together, 2014. I did this. I compiled this myself. So, but I had the Nuts and Bolts compilation. So, you know, I bought them, and then I actually did an extended version of The World Just Gets Smaller using some audio software. So the very first track on here was something that I extended and made it 6.5 minutes long. It's only about 5 minutes, 4.5, 5 minutes long. Here is Live at the Troubadour CD. Here's the DVD. Here's the CD. Whoops. There you go. See? This is really good. Which means the audio is really good too. And it is. It's really good stuff. This is a 2-disc set, CD and DVD. This is a numbered set, this DVD, and I actually got number 11 of 1000, so go figure. I guess that means I'm a big fan. 10 tracks on here, 12 tracks on the DVD. 11 tracks on the DVD, and on here it says Song for a Dead Friend, CD only. So, Song for a Dead Friend, Kevin solo, live at Club Largo in 1994. All right, and then there's Giraffe footage, which is probably also on the DVD in that box, that Giraffe box. But anyway, Kevin live at the Troubadour with his buddies. Here's the Nuts and Bolts compilation. Here's Nuts. And bolts, and you can see that this is supposed to really, it clearly is a set, as you can see, right? Nice compilation of rarities, although a lot of them were available elsewhere. But this came out 2009. These two releases came out back in 2009, and then they released that 3 CD book. A couple more things that Kevin was involved with. The Shaming of the True. This is an amazing release. There was a more of a deluxe version that was released. I don't have that. I do have this though. It's like a concept album, and it's pretty brilliant. I think I probably need to revisit this myself just to check it out. Some of the people involved on this, and also working with Kevin live when he was doing his Thud material. Some of the people involved are Nick DeVirgilio, Brian McLeod. I'm not sure if I'm saying Brian's name right. There are, Nick played drums, percussion, bass, guitar, keyboards, and did backing vocals. He is another multi-instrumentalist that is just fantastic. Nick is just amazing. Nick DeVirgilio. Brian McLeod played drums. There were some backing vocalists on here. Robert Ferris, Jennifer Cross, or is it Gross? Jennifer Gross. Skylar Jett, Clay Tovin, Sandy Sawyer, John Rubin, and Tommy Dunbar. Additional guitar by Tommy Dunbar, Russ Parrish, David LaVita, and Bill Bottrell. So you know the Tuesday Night Music Club is not too distant from this release. They worked with him. And then there were some horns on here too. I gather that Kevin probably arranged most of the horns, if not all of them. But anyway, this is a well-known release by Kevin, and is rather famous and is brilliant. But I think I need to revisit this. This is the package is a 2-disc package. So what do I have going on in here? Ah. The Shaming of the True came out in 2000. This was released back in 2000, but I have a 2011 mix. Or, yeah, I think somebody earned me a copy of this. I should have bought my own copy, and I didn't do that. All right, so anyway, The Shaming of the True. And then one of the oddest things, that Kevin was involved in is Caviar, the Caviar sessions. This was right before he died. And this is some bizarre stuff. I don't even know what to think of this. But this came out. This was released in 2002. I'm probably going to get flagged on YouTube by showing just that illustration there. That lenticular cover is going to get me in trouble. Yeah, this chick with G.I. Joe, huh? G.I. Joe. But anyway, all I can say is this is some bizarre stuff. And I don't know what else to say about it. So that's it, man. That is Kevin Gilbert. That is my collection of Kevin Gilbert material. And that's under 40 minutes. Pretty amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this. And then I might do a Sheryl Crow video. The Sheryl Crow, my library of Sheryl Crow stuff, my collection is just ridiculous. And I'm real proud to show it to you. Anyway, have a great day, or blah, 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 wherever you are. There. See ya.